Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Mark again here at Weatherman Plus. Now, we have severe weather for today and for tomorrow, but our weather pattern is about to change, and we're going to a new weather pattern that will stick around for a good bit, everybody. Now, you can see the storms we're having now and all that heavy snowfall still coming in for Colorado, and they do have that enhanced feature. I did post this in my community tab yesterday when this came out. Unfortunately, this is going to be for chances for strong tornadoes for today. Now, we also have this for tomorrow. A little marginal, but it is going to be chances for tornadoes as well. So I will go through that in this video. Matter of fact, timestamp is on the screen now if you need to go directly to that, because I will zoom in and we'll see the timing and possible impacts of the severe weather. But first, I want to talk about the weather pattern that is coming. It will affect the U.S., also the Caribbean, even our friends across the pond, everybody. Now, as we go into the rest of this week, into this weekend, even a little bit of next week, we have the cold fronts coming through, bringing those below average temperatures. Remember, it is going to warm up every single day, and it is going to get warmer and warmer. We're going to go on a warm spell right after that, but showing the week afterwards, this cold blast could come right back again, everybody. Now remember, this cold blast is a big high pressure, and this is going to change our weather pattern. High pressures bring clear weather, but it does a lot of blocking. Now first, you can see on our potential velocity anomaly by the GFS model that as we go towards the middle of May, we still have this big area of favorable environment that's moving through the Pacific, and it will eventually come towards Central America and move further towards the east. This is all those big above average anomalies moving through with a strong Kelvin wave, and this is going to bring hurricane season rather quickly towards the end of May into the Pacific, and it will strengthen as it comes further. Now you can also see this on the Euro, the control member, your more than likely outcome, that we have all this favorable environment moving through the Pacific as we go towards the middle and the later part of May. But still showing as we go towards the end of May into the very beginning of June in the first 10 days, this is going to transition everybody. Now this is going to bring a lot of favorable environment through, where we have a lot of lift in the environment. And you can see how much further towards the east this is going. This is going all across Central America, even over here towards the MDR, our main development region right off the coast of Africa. So as we go towards the first 10 days of hurricane season, we're going to see it spark up a little bit as we go into the Atlantic side for hurricane season. Now, even though we have a very strong El Nino moving through, matter of fact, just like I showed you in the last video, more than likely will be historical, where you can go all the way towards a 3, a 4 degrees or above. This is going to bring long-term impacts, not just 12 months, potentially 18 months or longer for an El Nino. Now, we'll update you on that again. First, I want to go through the rest of this video of the weather pattern that is coming. This right here is still concerning. Still showing it's coming, everybody. And we are back for the third and final promotion for this campaign for Anker SOLIX. And they are doing the storm season preparation campaign. And not only for storm season, hurricane season right around the corner, because this campaign is a 100 Preppers initiative. And with this power station, it gives off 58% more power than anything else at the same capacity. And this power station puts out a massive 6,000 watts, everybody. And I tried putting it through the test. I tried destroying it, and everything I hooked up to it only used up half of its power. All right, now check this out. Down in the basement, I got everything hooked up and nothing else is on but the refrigerator freezer. And you see it's still 3 days over the power coming out from the refrigerator freezer. But I have everything hooked up. I have a washing machine hooked up. I have a portable dryer that is hooked up, everybody. I have a little heater. This little thing sucks a lot of wattage. Believe it or not, it's going to get a little loud in here. And I was thinking about what you might have during the time, so I got a couple of box fans. So I got a couple of box fans. I got a heater that pulls terrible. That's 700 watts just by itself. Got the dryer, got the washing machine, got the refrigerator freezer. It didn't even pull half of the watts. It's pulling 2,500. This thing can do 6,000, everybody. It can do twice as much as what you're seeing here. Even so, with all this plugged in, over an hour. You can run all of this for an hour. I don't know why you would want the washer and the dryer, but you know, you got to have clean clothes. But you can run all this for an hour, and it can push twice as much power as what you're seeing here. That's crazy. So remember, the links are down below in the description, also pinned to the comment section. You can get this also on their site and on Amazon, everybody. Plus, if you get through the links in the description and on the comments that I'm going to pin, you also can get a dust cover, a protective covering over your unit. So make sure you go out and get one. You will need one for this storm season and hurricane season coming up. You don't want to be without power, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you, Anker SOLIX, for promoting this video. So the weather pattern we're going into, so you can see with your Arctic oscillation that we still have the cold air. We have the cold air now, and you see it will linger till the first half of next week. Then you see it's going to pull away. This is this big warm up that we're going to go into from the central to the eastern U.S. And look here, everybody, the models are in a pretty good agreement. This part changes usually, but they are in a pretty good agreement that we more than likely will get another cold blast coming through as we go towards the 20s of May. Now, where this cold blast is going to hit, first, you can look at this here, our NA, or North Atlantic Oscillation. When you have your North Atlantic Oscillation going into a negative pattern like this, all the way towards the 9th and 10th, showing it's getting deeper and deeper. This is where you get a blocking pattern from a high pressure into the Atlantic, letting this cold air go further south into the lower 48 of the U.S. But you also can see that as we go by the 10th, we're going to this big positive pattern coming through. So that next cold blast more than likely will not go all the way towards the south, maybe towards the Great Lakes or somewhere along those lines, because you see it's not really deep. But this big positive pattern, this is going to allow for something to happen over here in the Atlantic, which will cause problems for our neighbors across the pond. Now you can see this when you look at your latest weather pattern. So we have this high pressure in the Atlantic, but it slowly moves further east and north as we go towards that 10th and beyond. And this is with the GEOS satellite, everybody, bringing the high pressure further north. This will allow for that warm up along the central to the eastern U.S. But remember, once we go past the 19th, it might come back again for the northern part of the lower 48. But also we get this low pressure forming over here into the Atlantic. Now this is bringing problems over here for Portugal, Spain, Morocco, plus what's happening over here off the west coast of Africa. But this will affect France and all the other places over here into the UK. This is going to be a strong storm that's going to sit over there and bring rainfall, storms, and winds, while this changes our weather pattern right here for the dust. And you can see this on the latest from GEOS satellite. So as we're looking for our dust that's coming through for the Eastern Caribbean, not bringing a lot with this. Normally June and July is where we get our dust season from a Saharan air layer. Now when this comes through, it is very weak. And if you look what's happening over here across Africa, all this did not come off, everybody. We're going 5 days and it still didn't come off. In fact, look at Africa. The dust is getting pushed back on itself. You see how it's winding up and it's staying all over Africa. A big plume of dust. In fact, when you look a little bit longer with the European model, not only the system over there, the high pressure to the northern Atlantic, you can see that sticks around for about 6 or 7 days. Then the high pressure comes right back and it expands all the way from the coast of Africa all the way into the Caribbean, and it goes further south, everybody. This right here is going to push any dust that comes off the coast of Africa into a more southern pattern way down here like this. Not seeing this going into the Caribbean. Now, when it does come off, remember, it's going to be a big bottled up plume of dust. So we really need to watch this because this is going to be a big batch when it finally does. But showing we're going to stay in that weather pattern, and maybe another system, maybe is still too far down the road to take it as accuracy, but maybe another system forming that would do the same thing again. So you can see this when you look at your relative humidity. When you look at your precipitation, about 5,000 feet, this is your lower level atmosphere, but you can see the low pressure twirl, and you can see all that dry air over Africa, and only a little bit of it is coming off the coast of MDR, and this isn't going all the way towards the ground. This is staying way up into the higher elevations with the Saharan air layer. And look at that. It's not coming any further off of the coast of Africa. So when you look at your 925 millibars, this is lower into the atmosphere. This is about 2,500 feet up. And you can see that we have a lot of precipitation into the atmosphere from the MDR into the Caribbean. And all this dry air is staying right over here from the coast of Africa towards Azores. So Azores, you need to watch out. This could sit here and just linger over y'all for a number of days, but not showing that Saharan air layer, not showing this dust is coming off really strong anytime soon yet. And we've gone 2 weeks, everybody. So this right here, when it normally comes through, is not coming through. So as we go through this transition from May into June, if this stays over Africa and does not come off, it really won't take away the precipitation from any kind of tropical activity. And we might start seeing tropical activity, especially with all that favorable environment that's going to be moving across. And watching out for this next cold blast potentially as it comes through, everybody. So you can see the big below average anomaly that we have pushing through all the way to the weekend. Then we have it again coming down all the way from Sunday into Tuesday, bringing more below average temperatures. This is all anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees, even 20 degrees in the purple, below average for this time of year, while you're still getting this big heat dome that's building along the west into Texas. And remember those temperatures I showed you the other day, getting all the way towards 105, maybe even 110 degrees over here for California. And then maybe as we go towards the early 20s, another big blast coming down. I will keep you updated. It's just too far to take this as accuracy. This is all new information this morning. Now for the severe weather forecast, you see how much it has grown and our tornado risk. We even have the chance for the significant severe in that black hatched area, chances for a strong tornado, potentially an EF2. So here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for today. The significant severe is a white line on top. Now this is bringing some winds with it as well. And you see it did stretch all the way into Texas for this possibility, plus a big 5%. So here's your cities and states at risk for possible high winds for today. Up to 60 miles per hour wind gusts or a little bit higher. And a hail threat as well. Even significant severe in this black hatched area where you could see 2 inches in diameter. So here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for today. And the white line on top is your significant severe. For tomorrow, you do have that tornado threat. You have that 2% along the southeast. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for tomorrow, for Thursday. You also have the wind threat for tomorrow. You have a 5%. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the winds and not showing the chances for hail. The hail will be for today. All right, so here's the latest information as we go through 9 o'clock this morning. Remember, this is Central Time on top. You can see the thunderstorms coming across the northeast, into the interior northeast, into northern New England. This is just bringing regular thunderstorms. But down here across the south from Texas towards Tennessee, this is where the storms get a little bit stronger, everybody. So you can see as we go through for this morning, all the way towards 10, 11 o'clock, we get strong cells moving through, especially by 10 and 11. Over here for Texas, bringing chances for hail. You can even get a quick spin up possibility, bringing a lot of chances for hail from Texas to Louisiana. Look at these hail cores come through northern Louisiana around 10 and 11 o'clock. Pretty strong storm moving through right there as well. You also have it moving through for northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. Also getting hail cores and those storm cells as they move across, even over here for northern Georgia as you go through for this morning. Then it moves towards upstate South Carolina. So as we move a little bit further, as we go from 10 to 11 to noon, then we start going to the afternoon. Now, once we start going to the afternoon, we're going to see a lot less over here towards Texas, and we're going to see more of a buildup happening from Louisiana towards Alabama and Georgia. So here we go by 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, the storm cells move through. By 3, they're moving all the way into Mississippi, especially over here by Jackson. So be aware you got some strong storms moving in your direction, showing those storm cells that come right in front of the linear vent. So far, is not producing a lot. But if you take a look, you'll see how intense they get as we go through the evening. So here we are right around 3 p.m. We got strong storms for northern Alabama. We got some storms moving through northern Georgia as well. We even have some isolated for eastern Texas going through Louisiana, maybe by Alexandria by this time. But these cells moving in front of this linear event is the ones you really want to watch out for, showing it could build up. So as you go from 3 to 4, you have this event moving from the west, bringing the chance for the linear event, the damaging winds. You might even get a QLCS tornado, a quasi-linear convective system, just a zigzag line of storms that might have some rotation inside of there. But this right here, these storm cells look concerning to me. This right here is showing large hail cores, plus it's in front of this forcing event. So as you come from 3 to 4 to 5 o'clock, you really need to pay attention, especially over here from Mississippi going into Alabama. So you have storms coming through, bringing wind, bringing hail. Might even get another tornado threat in this batch of storms that's moving through. I think you have a stronger chance for what's building over here right in front of that linear event. So you can see all the hail coming across. But this could bring you a threat for a potential tornado. Maybe even a strong one as you come from 4 to 6, maybe even 7 o'clock. So look here, everybody. This is the most intense moment of this storm. You can see all the hail cores coming across from Louisiana, Mississippi into Alabama. As you go by 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, they're still there. So over an hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. So there's about 3 hours or longer of very intense storm that's going to happen today, all the way from northern Louisiana across central southern Mississippi. The same for Alabama. And it starts going towards Georgia and upstate South Carolina. This is regular thunderstorms with a little bit of hail in there, also for North Carolina. So this is going to bring y'all some of that rainfall that you need very badly. These storm cells are concerning. Then as you go by 7 and 8, 9 and 10 o'clock, it just trains across the same areas for multiple hours. So this is going to bring you some flooding with that as well. So just be aware of that. I know you need a rainfall. And before I go, a quick word from our Father, everybody. Ephesians 5:13 through 16. Make sure you stay strong out there, everybody, and make sure you look out for one another. That's going to grow cold in the coming days, and people aren't going to care about other people. Matter of fact, you can see this out there already, unfortunately. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doeth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Be careful in these storms if you are in them. Be aware of this weather pattern that is coming. I will keep you updated. Remember, above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope He keeps you safe, you and everyone that is around you, and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Hope you have a very blessed day today.